Dhamma friends, please get back to your seats for the Q&A. Okay, so what's happening now is to ask questions about Paccavekkhaṇā, reflection. If you have any questions about reflection or any other questions related to this, you can ask. If you can raise your hand, so Sister Christy will pass this mic and the mic for the recording, both at the same time. Maybe I will get started this way until you come up with a question. Let's break the ice. After eating, sometimes we go to a certain intoxication. What is that? That is the effect of that sammada. We call it Bhatta sammada. Bhatta sammada means intoxication created by eating rice. Bhatta means rice, right? I hope none of you has been going through that at this point. You are pretty alert. All right, any questions about today's topic, or any other questions about meditation or anything? Okay, so here, so please hold the both mics.
Bhante, may I ask, what's the difference between reflection and every time in the books we will say contemplation? One contemplates, now is we reflect. Can Bhante just don't mind?
I don't mind at all.
Thank you, Bhante.
Okay, contemplation, reflection, they are different English words, but there are two Pali words for that. Contemplation is anussati, and reflection is Paccavekkhaṇā. So contemplation is a mini meditation. Maybe I will write down here. I'm not sure about the eraser. We go back to the old style of erasing the board with a piece of cloth. Okay, let's see. We call, I don't know whether you can see, anussati. You can see something. This means contemplations. And Paccavekkhaṇā is reflection. Now the difference. Now there are 6 anussatis: Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, Deva, Chaga, Upasama. Someone can practice meditation. If you cannot practice breathing meditation, if you cannot practice those, forget about this meditation. Practice meditation on the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, and then maybe you can practice meditation on the Deva, about the Devas. You can practice meditation on your own generosity, your own dana, and also you can practice your meditation on the peace, your own peace. So contemplation is related to this anussati. Anussati means contemplation. There's another word for this. recollection. Paccavekkhaṇā is something different. Paccavekkhaṇā means you are reflecting on your activities. But this one is a specific object, contemplation. In order for you to contemplate, you must have a particular object. Yeah. That particular can be particular object can be particular, special. So it's a mini meditation. Let's say someone says, I cannot sit down, I cannot do the breath meditation, I'm trying so much hard on meditation. Then forget about those. Practice Buddha Anusati. Contemplate about Buddha's 9 great qualities. Mini meditation. And maybe Dhamma's 6 great qualities. Sangha's 9 great qualities. I'm going to conduct a retreat on Deepavali Day in another center about Tiratana. It's a meditation, making this one of these 3 meditations. So, so the difference is this is a specific object. When you say contemplation, reflection is objectless, but you are concerned about the activity, the particular activity.
So Bhante, reflection is after the meditation, after all the activities.
No, it's not just it's not just the meditation. It's all the time activity, before, during, after. Contemplation must be after a certain object. That object has been given a certain meaning. When you say you contemplate, that object has taken a certain meaning. But activity doesn't have a meaning. Activity is activity. You're only looking. So that means, I think you are trying to connect the dots of how these things connect. Let me tell you, Yoniso Manasikara, wise attention, Paccavekkhaṇā, reflection, then you can think about mindfulness or contemplations. It's a later practice. Later means something you do if you go to the regular meditation, or maybe if the regular meditation doesn't work for you. Make sense? Okay. All right.
Good afternoon, Bhante.
Good afternoon.
Bhante, can Bhante elaborate on the Anusati?
Anusati, yeah.
And Anusati on this Deva. Can Bhante
How to do
elaborate?
it? I know what you're asking.
Yeah.
I get it. Okay, how to do Devata Anusati? Devata Anusati. Have you seen the Deva before? No. So are they existing? We haven't seen them. But are they existing? They must exist somewhere. Huh? Then how? That is a? The Deva attitude, the Buddha's attitude about Deva is 2 kinds. One is exactly what you trying to say. The Buddha said, before you looking for the Devas, you can become like a Deva. How to become like a Deva? There are 2 main ways to become like a Deva. One way is practice Brahma Viharas, Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upekkha. Second is become someone in a relationship who is like a Deva. If you are not, you will become a Yakka. Okay, there are 4 types of relationships. You name it, you are one. There are 4 types of relationships. This should be okay. So the Buddha says there are 4 types of relationships where someone can become either a deva or a yakka. Interesting, huh? Very interesting. The first relationship is there are 2 yakkas living together. Huh? 2 partners, they are behaving like yakkas. Huh? That means male yakka plus female yakka. You can say yakkini. What is this relationship? Both are creating 10 akusalas. Both are killing, stealing, sexually misbehaving, lying, doing all that. But they exist together. Sometimes bad people exist together, right? But you have to become a bad person to be with them. It's like the anger-eating yakka who took over the sakka seat. Remember in one sutta, one yakka went to the Tavatin's heaven, took over, sat on the sakka seat. What do you think? If sakka is so powerful, why he let someone to sit on his seat? Then other yakka, devas become very angry. How come you sat on our head deva seat? Every time they complain about this yakka, is a very short, ugly yakka. I don't think that if you are short, become. Every time they complain about this ugly one, he becomes more handsome, more beautiful. What is the nature? This yakka who sat down on the sakka seat is becoming more beautiful when other people complain about his anger. So they inform the sakka. One yakka came and sat on your seat. He never wanted to leave your seat. Then sakka knew the trick. He went, he bowed to him. He bowed to him with kind and compassion. Said, I am sakka, I am sakka, I am sakka. Then his beauty faded. He became very short again. That's why sometimes don't complain about the bad people. They become happier because of your complaint. You treat them with respect, then they will become that monstrous evil nature. They will go away. Then that yakka disappear. Right? So, yakkas. So this means, this is a metaphor. That means there is a man in a relationship, husband, partner, who is doing 10 akusalas, become a male yakka and then female yakka. They are in the form of humans. Second is male yakka, female deva. Right? That means the man is still doing this in this form of relationship, doing the 10, but she is not doing the 10. She is doing the 10 kusalas. Have you seen such relationships? The lady is better than the man, becoming a deva. Huh? And in the third relationship, the male deva, but female yakka. The other way around has happened over here. There are such examples too. The last one is male deva and female also deva. The Buddha said, plan to approach this kind of relationship. And then indirectly what the Buddha is saying is that you can become a deva before we actually become a deva. This is the first thing what the Buddha told us. If you want to become if you want to get the support from the deva, if you want to get blessings from the deva, you have to become somebody who has a deva lifestyle. Second, this is number one. Second is how to get the blessings from the deva, like devata anussati. contemplation of the Devas' qualities is one of the things we have to do. In many suttas, Buddha says, Saddha, Sila, Sutta, Chaga, Panya. English, trust about the Buddha Dhamma Sangha, then morality, Sutta, wide learning, Chaga, generosity, Panya, wisdom. How to practice the contemplation of Deva, Devatānussati, which is one of the contemplation. Buddha said, when a lay person, a human, is to think that I have Saddha, I have Sila, I have Sutta, I have Chaga, I have Panya, just like the other Devas who became Deva, because no Deva became a Deva without being a human. Any ghost who became a human before the ghost. Any Deva who became a Deva didn't become a Deva before being a Manusa. Then what have they practiced? These five. If they become a Deva as a practice of these five, more or less, I also have these five. So I contemplate on my Saddha, my Sila, my Sutta, my Chaga, my Panya. Just like how some humans became Devas. That is how we are practicing Devatānussati, contemplation on the Devas. Right? We have to accept that Devas live. We are not able to see Devas due to our spiritual failure. Right? That's what we understand. Because if we don't believe that real Devas exist, that means we don't have right view. One of the factors of right view is believing in the spontaneous beings, Opapatika Satta. Who are the Opapatika Satta? Devas and hellish beings. They don't have mother, father. That means an atheist cannot become a Buddhist. Who is an atheist? Atheist. Who is an atheist? How do we know an atheist? Atheist means those who do not believe in the existence of the God. So they don't believe the existence of the God. That means they don't believe about the Deva. That means they don't have the right view, so they cannot practice the Noble Eightfold Path. But they might practice certain bits of pieces, a little bit of here, a little bit like meditation, this one, that one. But they cannot practice a formal practice. All right. Any questions about Paccavekkhaṇā and all that? You have.
Is this in the sutta that we can read on?
Yes. This is in a sutta. I can tell you the sutta's name. It's in my blog actually.
Yeah.
I can tell you.
Okay.
I have to ask the password in public now. What to do? You have a password here, right? Metta 2020. It became a public word now. No password anymore. Right? All right. Okay, this is that one. So she needs the sutta name. Okay. See, this one is Patama Sangvasa Sutta, male yakka, female yakka, as you can see. Patama Sangvasa Sutta, Anguttara Nikaya 4.53. And then see, Anusatitthana Sutta, Anguttara Nikaya 6.25, Devatānussati. Anusatitthana Sutta. This one. All right. Yeah, you can see. Okay. You can raise your hand if you have a Dhamma question. If you don't have a Dhamma question about Paccavekkhaṇā, maybe any other question too. There.
Good afternoon, Bhante.
Good afternoon.
Brothers and sisters. I would like to know, when during meditation, what if someone suddenly falls asleep? Is it okay? I mean, for a few seconds and then come back.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Very interesting question. How we going to answer this question is on three ways. One is we have to know whether this person has a medical issue. Why he or she always feels sleepy. There are some diseases, diabetes, they always fall asleep in the daytime, but at night time they always up. That's number one. So have to do a medical perspective. Number two is that whether this person has properly slept last night before the retreat. But definitely you are going to meditate. If you haven't slept last night or a couple of other nights, then you won't be able to stick to the meditation. Number three is that whether you properly follow the meditation guidelines. So without understanding one of these courses, we cannot answer that question. So we have to then find out the reason. Now let's say someone has overeaten that day, that means not properly followed the meditation instructions. See, I always saying don't overeat. You need to have some virya, energy, some vayama, right effort. Yes. So that also shows that that person has not properly entered into the meditation. You are still at the entry level, maybe even before the entry level. So we must create some energy, effort, right? But when we find out something to be spoiled, how much energy do we have? Sometimes we don't have enough time to show that energy. We are with so much energy. Let's say when we see an interesting food, when we have the company of other people, we have so much energy. Sometimes that energy is overflow. But when it comes to a kusala practice, we have to create energy. That's a very interesting topic. Maybe before we end this Q&A, I will add more information to that. So we have to know the cause of that sleep. Then only we have to answer. And then here. Yes. Yeah, she will.
Thank you, Bhante. I'm slightly confused on self and non-self in Buddhism. Can you explain that and how we can apply reflection onto that?
Okay.
Thanks.
That's an interesting question. All are interesting questions, but now this question shows how to apply reflection if we don't believe a self. Right? That means we have to properly understand this concept of anatta and the proper translation. Now the Buddha says anicca, dukkha, anatta, sunyata. Things are changing and changeable, and if you don't accept the changes, then you are into pain. At the same time, you can avoid most of the issues through what you call anatta. Anatta means not having no self. We have a self. If we don't have a self, who is going through the pain? Right? Who is going through the pain? Is it my neighbor who is going through my knee pain? Oh, he's so good. He's comfy, living well. It's me. Then we have a self. But when we properly understand ourselves without developing a certain clinging, tanha, craving or clinging to ourselves, then we practice not self. That means we should not take self too obsessively. So self exists. Buddha has clearly accepted that. But time to time we have to understand, we have to take that existing self as not self. But if you translate no self, then the problems going to arise. I think there are lots of translation these people have translated saying that there is no self. Then young people are even asking, but if we have no self, why do we practice Dhamma? For what? If we have no self, why are you practicing Dhamma? Who is meditating? That's why I think most of our people have turned the newcomers, turned the existing people off. I said we have to be very careful in presenting this Dhamma to the new age. Otherwise what we are doing is that we are wrongly interpreting, especially some of the books and all that, and then we are turning people off from Buddhism. So that is why it is a translation problem. In the text there is self, but don't take that self as self. You take it as not self at a certain higher level. But if we teach normal people, we always say, take care of yourself. Don't think about the not self. It's too much at the beginning. Now, say if I make a very layman example, let's say we want to take care of us, take care of our mind, take care of our body. But if we are going to take care of us too much, then I will become obsessive about myself. That is not nice. So I have to balance out. When I don't balance out, I will think that there is a permanent, unchangeable self existing. And that is what we understand by anatta. Anatta means don't take self as permanent self. It is changing all the time. So it is anatta. Not that no self. No self is a wrong translation, bad translation. But if you see on internet, anatta, most of them translate to be no self, no self, no self. This is a big issue, especially the books that have, by certain colonialized people who translated this in 17th century, 18th century, they have translated Buddhism closer to the Bible, Holy Bible. Yeah, that's the issue. So we cannot blame them because that was the starting point. They have done good and bad, so yeah. It's like dukkha. They translated dukkha to be suffering. Dukkha is not suffering. Suffering is one form of dukkha. Dukkha is disappointment, dissatisfaction. Right? So there are lots of things like that. Okay, any other questions?
Bhante, just now we talk about atheists are those who do not believe in devas or God. But then the Kalama Sutta said that we shouldn't believe what people say and so on until we have experienced it. How do we explain this to, or even try to understand this deeply? Thank you.
Okay. Kalama Sutta is the sutta about the epistemology. Epistemology is a philosophical word. We call it as finding the knowledge, finding different knowledges, epistemology. So what is happening in the Kalama Sutta? Buddha goes to Kesaputta village, and then Kesaputta people told the Buddha, Bhante, there are different monks coming and going. So we are so confused. One person say this, the other person say this, but nobody has told the basis. They all are giving their own interpretation. Are you also someone like that? They thought you are also a monk, maybe you are also going to do the same. Buddha said, no. I didn't come to give my interpretations. Then the Buddha said, there are many ways to find the knowledge. We are acquiring knowledge through many channels. One of the ways, ma anussavena. Anussavena means yeah, we are following our generational understanding. Right? Then ma paramparaya. Ma paramparaya means definitely it's generation. Then ma takka hetu. Don't just accept if it is mere by logical point of view. Then ma samano garoti. Don't accept just because the speaker is well reputed. Ma babbarupataya. Don't accept just because the speaker is very beautiful. So Buddha said many ways. But someone who doesn't understand the logic, the point here, the core point here, might think all these are wrong ways to find the knowledge. Actually, all these are good ways to find the knowledge. Is the generational knowledge bad to us? Whatever that has come down to us through generation, it is bad? I don't think so. There are a lot of good things. Your own lineages. And even the Dhamma Vinaya also come down to us through generations. And it is even said, do not believe just because they are coming in the Pitakas. Then we should not believe any of these Dhamma Vinaya things. No, the Buddha's point is not that. But the Buddha said, when you want to understand something, do not just depend on one source. That's true. We have to read from many sources. Now, in order to understand the Pali text, we might sometimes go to the Sanskrit versions, Chinese versions, Tibetan sources, and many others, if we know. Right? Remember what happened when the Buddha passed away. When the Buddha passed away, Arahan Mahakashyapa and other 500 monks, they did the Sanghayana. Then there was another monk called Purana. Then these 500 monks approached Bhante Purana. Then they said, Bhante Purana, now we did the first council, you have to accept it. Then what he said? I don't want to accept what you had here. It is good, but I don't accept. I keep what I heard from the Buddha directly. What does it mean? Who is this Purana? It's a well-reputed monk. That's why they approach him. Otherwise, why do Arahants want to approach this one monk? Why they want to convince him? But unfortunately, we don't see his name after that. Did something happen to him? Like some bad things, right? Things are happening to some people who are questioning about big pharma, in today's world. We don't know. Someone is finding a very interesting medication. Suddenly he is missing. She's missing. His research is missing. His research is, don't know what happened to that person, whether they are alive or not. Bhante Purana is missing after that. Maybe his version has been taken out, but he's a very reputed person. That's why these people approach him. Right? So, what I say is that in the Kalama Sutta, Buddha said, don't just merely depend on one particular channel of getting knowledge. But they all are very interesting knowledges. What about the logic? Logic. Is logic not important to us? That is our last help also in this world. When something happens to us in our personal life, we may go to the court. What is happening in the court? Two lawyers are arguing each other. So who is going to win is our destiny. They are arguing with the language. Sometimes, if the lawyer is a good lawyer, even the wrong person might be able to win the court case. That means it has its own problems, but logic is still valuable. Even when you give a talk, you have to have a good logic to the talk. Otherwise, the audience might not accept you. But we should not only depend on the logic. It's like somebody asked, are there ghosts? Have you seen the ghost? We haven't seen them. Just because you haven't seen them, can you say they are not available? Right? It's our ignorance. So, how to understand any other teaching from Kalama Sutta is, Kalama Sutta is a reminder to us when we do our Dhamma journey, don't depend on one particular channel in finding Dhamma, truth. That is what the Buddha said. It's like another example which the Buddha gave in the Udana Pali. One day, one king wanted to show an elephant to a set of blind people. Very interesting, huh? Said, I'm going to ask you, you tell me what is the shape of the elephant. So he brought a very big elephant into this blind people, said, okay, touch the elephant, tell me the shape. So someone who touched the ears of the elephant told, elephant is like a winnowing fan. Someone who touched the trunk of the elephant said, elephant is like a mortar. They were giving the kitchenware stuff. And then someone who touched touched the tail of the elephant said, elephant's shape is like a broom. Then the king said, oh, so confused, huh? I think I made a mistake with you guys. Asking you to touch the elephant. But the Buddha's point is, look at these different blind people touch the elephant from different parts. And when you look at all the answers, you can see an elephant after that. You can sketch an elephant. In the same way, Kalama Sutta's idea is, these are different ways to explore the meaning of life, but don't depend on one particular channel to do that. If some people who don't understand this issue, they directly go to, I don't want to believe any of these things. They go to this misunderstanding. They don't understand what Buddha said in the Kalama Sutta. And then what the Buddha said, okay, don't believe anything out of these things. Merely, I ask you to do your own reflection. Yada tumhe kalam attanava janeyata. Kalamas, one day you will know by yourself that ime dhamma kusala, these are wholesome things. Ime dhamma akusala, these are unwholesome things. That is the proper investigation of the knowledge. But you won't get there until you search Dhamma through all these ways. Because you will have to listen to some speakers. You will have to learn some Dhamma from suttas. You will have to learn some Dhamma knowledge from your generations. You will have to learn from other people. All these are good channels, but never ever end up with one channel. Then you are lost in the true investigation of the Dhamma. You have another question? Okay. Are there any others before we hand you to her? Yes. Okay. Yeah. Please.
Bhante, don't mind Yoniso Manasikara. You see, I think my thoughts will fluctuate from physical rupa. It's like, who is Bhante? When just now Bhante mentioned, why should I be happy? It's like, then who is happy? So it's like Yoniso Manasikara. It's like, can I have the wise attention? Is like, is the physical, the rupa, making myself happy, or is the mind, or the? I'm sometimes confused with the nama and the mano, the chitta. Sorry about that.
Okay. So I think when you learn a lot of hardcore Dhamma things, you may be confused. What I said in that example is that, why do I have to worry? Then why should I not be happy? So that means we embrace self. We have to embrace self. There is no problem with embracing self, because why you want to attain Nibbana? Why do you want to attain Nibbana? Want to become a Sotapanna? Because, are you scared of the pain? Are you? Dukkha, 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 life is dukkha, aging is dukkha, we're gonna die, we don't know what's gonna happen to me. So lots of fears going around, negativities going around. Is it why you are looking for Nibbana? Oh, you have a different purpose in looking at Nibbana, enlightenment. Why are you looking for Nibbana? Why you want to become Sotapanna? You always say. Why? Because many others don't want to attain Nibbana. They just want to go to the heaven. Right? Abrahamic religions, those Abrahamic ones, they want to go to the heaven. Are they happier than you? That's a good question. Are they happier than you? They have nothing, like only one life. No other life. I go to the heaven. If I do bad, I go to the hell. And there's something called purgatory. That's the entry gate of the hell. Whether I go to the purgatory or go to the hell. Heaven, hell. Do you think sometimes when we think about our sansaric life too much, are we getting more depressed? It can become. What will happen to me next life? Will I become a cat or a dog or a snake or a bhuta, peta? It can give a sort of, I would say, fear actually. Anxiety also. So when you are asked that question, we have to first maintain ourselves without making ourselves very obsessive about anything. So when I say, why should I not be disappointed? Why should I worry? And why should I be happy? That is a good tagline to become happy, both mind and body. Both have to be happy. But while we enjoying that happiness, we also have to understand this happiness will be fleeting. Right? It is fleeting. Understanding that is also another happiness. Right? Say for instance, there is someone who is in 30s, 40s, a good time to get dressed well, maybe do the makeup and all that. But if you don't do anything in that age of time, now when you hit 60s, 70s, you worry about your life. I wasted my time. Even if I want it, I can't do it now anymore. Why is it? So we don't have to leave our time that remorseful. That means we have to take care of the self without bringing tanha to that. So the thing that I told you was that take care of the self. Self means both body and mind. But when you do it in the proper way, without bringing what you call obsession, infatuation, then one day you will understand, as things are changing, you will understand that particular age of time in a better way. And you asked at the end something else. I think you asked about
Is that, as one is when I'm reflecting, so I would like, who is making who happy? Is the physical self, the rupa, making the mental aspect, the phenomenal happy? Because there is
no, don't separate. Don't separate.
Yeah.
You can't make it dual. It's the 5 aggregate based sentient being who is making oneself happy. If you dissect the body and mind, then you will feel nobody is there.
Then the anatta aspect comes in.
No, don't go that far. Don't go there. I think you are kind of jumbled now. Okay, so why Buddha wanted to separate body and mind? Just to give us a better analysis. But we cannot separate them. Body cannot live without mind. Mind cannot live without the body. So then who is enjoying? It's the 5 aggregates entity, because we all have 5. So when you say, may I be happy? That means that 5 aggregate based sentient being. So may I ask you, who is getting your metta when you say, may I be well and happy? Is it your rupa or is it your vedana, sanya, sankara? Is it the whole thing? Is it your whole 5 aggregate based life entity? Anatta, don't think about anatta in the first place. Anatta is another higher level. Anatta means when you take care of yourself. Sometimes people are becoming obsessive about self. They become extreme about their self. They become very conceited, they become very extreme. At that point, they think this self is permanent. It's not going to change anymore. At that point, they are going to a very high level of atta. At that time, they want to have anatta. Anatta means you cannot take it as a permanent self. That is anatta. Now, I think you had the idea based on his problem, no self. Huh? Yeah. If you think no self, then you are thinking who is going to enjoy this? There is not no self, there is self, but you cannot take it as self. So it's not self. I think both questions came up due to the mistranslations of the anatta Pali concept. Others? We'll give to other people first and then come back here again. You have a question, please.
Good afternoon, Bhante. May I ask, in meditation, like eating, is it considered meditation, mindfulness?
Of
Like
course.
Eating, sitting, walking, and there's many more.
Everything is a meditation. But some people said no, it's only sitting meditation. That has created you this problem. If you read Satipatthana Suttas, everything is a meditation. Talking is a meditation. Because we talk without reflecting. We talk what comes to our mind and then become proud. No, I'm a straight person, I talk straight. Just accept me, I'm more straight than any other people. How straight are you? It's not. You filter out your words before you talk. Talking is a meditation. Then what else? Driving is a meditation. And then cooking is a meditation. One of the best meditations, if you cannot cook, do the dishes. Doing dishes is the best meditation. You see those leftovers going down through the sinkhole. You see how you are washing. Clarity is coming out. When you wash, if you have a dishwasher, unfortunately you can't do that. But if you don't have a dishwasher, then you see how they are. Because Buddha said in one place, one sutta, somebody came and blamed the Buddha, accused the Buddha. How he accused? Actually, not he said other people accusing him. Bhante, outside, there are people who accuse you because they said to me, you had given some Dhamma talks saying that if you want to give a dana, you must bring that dana to me, not to other teachers at that time. Who are the other teachers? Contemporary, pre-Buddhist teachers. They are very well reputed, who had a large audience of students. Purana Kassapa, Makkali Gosala, Pakuta Kachayana, Ajita Kesakambala, Sanjay Bellatiputta, Nigannatiputta. They are not simple people. They had lots of audiences, even before the Buddha. Even Arhan Sariputta is a student of Sanjay Bellatiputta. Right? So the Buddha said, no, I haven't said that. He said, if you want to give a dana, go to the nearest temple. Don't come here. That's the thing. Go to the nearest place and give that dana. If you want to come, go and come here too. And then they are accusing you that you had said in other Dhamma talk, that if you cannot find you only should give dana to my disciples, my Sangha members, not to other teachers, students. Buddha said, no, I haven't said that either. These are outrightly false accusations. I am not accepting any of them. Buddha said, there's a Pali word for that. And then he asked from that Brahmin, do you know the bare minimum place, the starting point of dana that I explain to people? He said, don't know. Okay, listen up. My instruction, my explanation about the dana, the bare minimum, the starting point of dana, you may think about dana in different ways, is someone who has finished his lunch, breakfast or dinner, now going to wash the cups and plates, and thinking that may any being down the sinkhole, sewage line are there, may they subsist on these leftover food I am rinsing, That is the starting point of dana. Buddha talks about two Pali words, Chandanikaya, Oligalla. Those are two types of sewages at that time. One sewage is on the road, other sewage is in the house. At that time there was no proper sewage system, so they just go and leave the stuff into those ones. Now we have sinks, very modern, ultra design built sinks. So when you wash your cup, maybe a tea, maybe some leftover cups and plates, you are thinking, if there are any tiny creatures, micro beings who I cannot see but they are existing down the line, definitely there are, may they be able to subsist on my, you create dana. So by learning today, don't stop coming to the temple, thinking that I do my dana with my sinkhole. People misunderstand. But I'm giving you tips to create more dana now. Earlier you thought dana is only in the temple. Only you go far away to some other place. Now you can do double, triple, quadruple danas, even many more danas. Then the Buddha said to that man, that is my dana. And I further explained to you, if people know how important is generosity just like me, they will never eat. They will never eat. They will share all the food with others. They will never eat. And with this example, Vachagotta Prana. So that means it is another meditation. Doing dishes and then you do two things. Generosity, dana also you do. On this side, meditation also. Another one. And then what else? What else? Reading is a meditation. Reading a book. Because you read with some reflection, mindfulness. What am I reading? And then, definitely, chanting is a meditation. You cannot separate chanting from meditation. Yeah. Yes. All these are meditations. Everything. We call it sampajanya as well. That means you cannot make any excuses. I cannot meditate. There are a number of opportunities from kitchen to your temple. Starts from the kitchen. Even from the bed, because lying down. And how to practice meditation in the lying posture? When you go to bed, there is some time you are going to sleep, you are practicing metta meditation. Buddha said that. Tittang charang nisinno sayano va yavatassa vikatamitva. You are practicing metta as long as you are awake. Can you practice meditation while you are sleeping? What will happen to our mind when we are in sleep?
Stop.
Does it stop? That's a good question. What is happening to our mind when we sleep? The Buddhist explanation. Now you know mind cannot survive without objects. I cannot exist without objects. Then what will happen to the blind people? They create their own projections about rupa, the brails and all that. And then, so we are creating lots of sense media throughout the day. Then when we sleep, all these are coming back as a flashback. Sometimes they create a subconsciousness type dream, sometimes not. Mind cannot stop. It cannot be stopped. It has to work on the side, even in sleep. But when you are dreaming, body understands you are doing something not nice. Body paralyzes you. Yeah, that's a scientific thing. Body paralyzes you because body knows you are daydreaming. You might stretch your hand, you might hit yourself. Body paralyzes you. That's why you never get injured by having a dream. You just wake up to a bad dream. That's it. So anyway, so all these can be used as meditations. Because what we want to have is a concentrated mind. Alright, other questions? Somebody about today? Please take the mic. Yeah.
Bhante, normally in daily life, we can meditate and we can control ourselves. But during dream, we out of control. And then how we going to practice for
Paccavekkhaṇā. Okay.
In dream?
Okay. We cannot control anything in our life. There's no Pali word for controlling. But the Buddha said, manage, take care of your thoughts. If you control, you will have to compensate. Say for instance, you are going to be sugar free for 1 week. You're going to be sugar free for 1 week. But if you haven't done it with a certain management, self-management, on the 8th day, you might feel you want to eat as many chocolates as you couldn't eat. You want to compensate. So we cannot control. What we do is we manage, we transform the negativity into the good side, wholesome side. How can we manage our dreams? Yes. One of the benefits of metta is you don't dream bad dreams, you don't have a nightmare. Then that means you can stop it. If you do more metta, you won't see any bad dreams. But during the dream, you cannot do anything. We just have to be a part of that cinematic experience. What's happening? Let me see what's happening. It's like
we just watching, or is it that one in the dream? Is it you personally, or it's just another?
no, it's you. Then we have to understand how do people dreams. What are the sources of dreams in Buddhism? There are many reasons why people dream. One is an inflammation of your bile, phlegm and wind. Pitta, Simha, Vata. When your phlegm is inflamed, when your wind is inflamed, when your bile is inflamed, then your body is inflamed. Then this mismanaged format can give you certain dreams because you are not okay. Second thing is that you are going to have a flashback about the daily events. Let's say you've been going through a lot of things during the day. Say for instance, tomorrow morning you are going on a trip that was in your bucket list. Much sought trip, maybe a vacation. You haven't been there. You've been planning. The day before that particular day that you are going, you will have almost gone that trip in a dream. Then you are waking up to the point that, where am I? I haven't been to the trip, but I have gone in the trip. You're too excited about it. Too excited that you can go in a dream. But by morning, it's not. Right? So, there are flashbacks because of your daily event. So, unless we don't understand the source of the dream, then we cannot say that we cannot manage lots of dreams. Rather, we practice metta. If you practice metta as a daily practice, you won't almost see any dream. Actually, dreaming is really giving us a hard time the next day. If you dream that day, you feel you are tired and you are up. You stayed up the whole night. Better to have a good sleep without any dream.
But in the dream, you don't know it is
we are inside. Okay.
something like when we are dreaming, we don't know that this actually is a dream.
Yeah, of course. We don't have mindfulness if we dream. Nobody can bring mindfulness while they are dreaming because it is an offshoot of the mind activity. That's why the Buddha said practice metta as a daily practice. So you won't see any dreams. Rather than be going to manage dreams, better to practice metta. So no dreams. No dreams means more sleep, good sleep. Let's talk about that side. That's better. Okay, maybe there is a question. You have a question?
Bhante, a very basic question actually.
Yeah.
Followers of Jesus Christ, they call it the Christian. Followers of Allah, they say Muslim. Then when they say followers of the Buddha, it's called Buddhist. But when is a Buddhist a Buddhist? When people ask me what is your religion, I can't tell them I'm a Buddhist. I'm just learning the Buddha Dhamma, practicing. Can you elaborate on that?
Okay. We didn't become Buddhist by a choice. We were choiceless and other people made us Buddhist. Non-Buddhists made us Buddhist. It's not in our best interest. That means there is no particular word in English that we can use for this. Because when they say this many XYZ religions, and they call you are an organized religion, so you must be Buddhist. But in the text we never see anything about like that Buddhist followers. But we find one Pali word, Arya Savaka, noble followers, Arya Savaka. But those are only for those people who follow the Noble Eightfold Path. So Arya Savaka is the Pali way. But those who are not Buddhists introduce us as Buddhists. So we are now Buddhists. So but this is a very complicated thing. How many Buddhists are there? More are Mahayana Buddhists and Vajrayana Buddhists. The few are Theravadas and few are non-denominational. Actually, we have to be non-sectarian Buddhists. Temples have to run as non-sectarian Buddhists, not Theravada Buddhists, not Mahayana Buddhists. Then we can attract more people into the temples, right? Otherwise, we will carry one thing. So better among many other people, you can say I'm a Buddhist, but this Buddhist interpretation have to be further explored. The real word is Arya Savaka. Buddhist is not a proper English translation, but maybe they added this to the Buddha, right? Buddha and Buddhist, like Christianity, Christ Christianity. Okay, so we can take one more question and we will wrap this up for the rest. Any question about Paccavekkhaṇā or this? Okay, then before I wrap this up, this Q&A, may I ask you, what is reflection? You answer me. What is reflection? Reflection means to evaluate the results and drawbacks of our activities before, during, after. What benefits and what drawbacks? Normally benefits are good side, kusala sides. Drawbacks are akusala side. So we have to evaluate before we are going to implement any action, any speech, any thought, before, during and after. Yoniso Manasikara means just give the right attention to everything, proper attention to everything. There is no evaluation. There's no proper high evaluation. Just give the proper attention. Without attention, we cannot understand anything. Sometimes you can evaluate, but you haven't given the proper attention. Attention is number one. Okay? So that is the connection. Wise attention, then Paccavekkhaṇā. Pacha means repeated. Alright, then we will go to the next item here. Next item is resting, but now we will make a wish. May all the good karmas we be making in this Q&A session be supportive and helpful for all of us to attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Now it's 2:40. We are going to take a break up until 2:55, 15 minutes, and then we are going to practice sitting meditation again, half an hour only. So from 3 to 3:30. Okay, so there are maybe you can go to the washroom. There's coffee, tea if you want. You can just walk around.
Tea time.